Excuse me. Ladies and gentlemen, in a few minutes we're going to get ready to start.
Can't shoot them anymore. That long black cloud is coming down. I feel I'm knocking on heaven's door. Knock, knock, knocking on heaven's door. Knock, knock, knocking on heaven's door.
There must be lights burning brighter somewhere. Got to be birds flying higher in a sky more blue. If I can dream of a better land where all my brothers walk hand in hand, tell me why, oh why can't my dream come true? Oh why? There must be peace and understanding sometime. Strong winds of promise that will blow away the doubt and fear. If I can dream of a warmer sun where hope keeps shining on everyone, tell me why, oh why, oh why won't that sun appear? We're lost in a cloud with too much rain. We're trapped in a world that's troubled with pain. But as long as a man has the strength to dream, he can redeem his soul and fly. Deep in my heart, there's a trembling question. Still I am sure that the answer's gonna come somehow.
Ladies and gentlemen, would you please stand?
In the dark, there's a beckoning candle, yeah. And while I can
Would you please stand?
while I can talk, while I can stand, while I can walk, while I can dream, oh please let my dream come true. Right now, they come true right now. Oh yeah. There must be lights burning brighter somewhere. Got to be birds flying higher in a sky more blue. If I can dream of a better land where all my brothers walk hand in hand, tell me why, oh why can't my dream come true? Oh why? There must be peace and understanding sometime. Strong winds of promise that will blow away the doubt and fear. If I can dream of a warmer sun where hope keeps shining on everyone, tell me why, oh why, oh why won't that sun appear? We're lost in a cloud with too much rain. We're trapped in a world that's troubled with pain. But as long as a man has the strength to dream, he can redeem his soul and fly. Deep in my heart, there's a trembling question.
He comes in the still of the night. I don't know his name or where he lives, but every night he comes. I don't listen for him, for his footfalls are too light. I don't chase him, for he is like the deer of the night, and I am like the cumbersome elephant, lost and blind after dark. Every night I watch for his head to protrude over the top palings of the fence. The moon catches his silky black hair like moonlight reflected on a pool of black ink. The shadow he casts grows slowly larger as he lifts himself up until he stands in full view of the world. And to think, I am the only one blessed with his sight. And then he springs down. His landing is unheard. He moves towards me like a shadow. The closer he moves until I can see the glimmer in his eyes and the pink of his tongue. He stops at the dish I have left for him, and slowly he begins to eat. He never removes his cold eyes from my form. He is suspicious and wary of me. It is strange for him to be wary of me, for in fact it is I who should be wary of his uncanny senses and his supernatural skills. He surely is a god in disguise that has come to enchant my life and make me free from all the horrors of this world. I pass my eyes slowly over his body, and in that body I see unbelievable strength, skill and knowledge. His mind seems to expand out through those large eyes, out past the limits of my mind and out into the timeless black void of space. He has finished his meal and is sitting back cleaning his face. He doesn't say a word and he is not mute. Although he doesn't speak my language, I am sure he understands me. It is a great pity that we cannot communicate, for I am sure I could learn a great deal from him. He is leaving now. He doesn't say goodbye, and I do not say goodbye, for I know not the language of a cat. And those words were written by Garry himself when he was just a Year 10 student at Burnie High School. Thanks.
Yeah, okay.
That's better.
You won't hold it against you.
Hi everyone, my name is Ellie Dennison, and along with Simon and the colleagues here at Parkside Funeral, we are honoured to guide Garry's celebration of life today. A tribute to a man who lived life in his own way. On behalf of Garry's family, thank you for being here, and welcome to those joining us via the live stream, whether that's today or in the days ahead. As a sign of respect, I kindly ask that you turn your mobile phones onto silent. At the conclusion of today's service, we will continue to the Burnie Lawn Cemetery, where we will gather one final time to lay Garry to rest. Following the interment, everyone is invited to join the family at the Menai Hotel to continue sharing stories, memories and refreshments together. Garry John Crawford was the loving father of Marcus, Hannah, Colin and Ben. He was the grandfather to Solomon and Aurora. He was a dearly loved son of Ron and June Crawford, and he was the second eldest of 4 children. Garry was the brother to David, Lisa and Grant. He was an uncle to all his nieces and nephews, and he was a mentor and a guide to the kids that needed it. Garry was born in the old Burnie Hospital, and his life was one of contrasts. There were years filled with music, motorbikes, laughter, and lifelong friendships, but there was also seasons of hardship and heartache. This shaped the person that he became and influenced how he faced life and how he carried pain. While reading through Garry's own words on Facebook recently, on his birthday acknowledgement he wrote, "The real blessing in life's journey is the great people that you meet along the way." And looking around this room, those words have come full circle for him. Garry's casket is surrounded by a collection of personal items. Each one has been lovingly placed as a symbol of a part of Garry's life that meant so much to him. A black belt reflects his lifelong dedication to martial arts, the discipline he lived by, and the countless people he encouraged through You Can Do. His Harley gloves and a piece of the Eagle Rock stage speak of the freedom he found on two wheels, his love of live music and the friendships that shared those adventures with him. His motorbike jacket represents decades of riding, camaraderie and the lifelong mates who have travelled beside him. A record reminds us that music was never something Garry just listened to, but it was part of the soundtrack of his life. A beer represents the laughter, the stories, the humour and the good times shared with lifelong friends. And the joint tells of Garry's free spirit and his determination to live life his way. Together, these simple items tell the story of Garry. And I'd now love to invite Stan to come forward to share some memories of Garry.
Here we go. Where do you start? Sorry. The most quiet, unassuming bloke you could meet until he got a few beers into him. Some of the ideas he came up with while we were on the piss were awesome, but you try and remember them in the morning, you're better than me. He would keep me going on projects just by turning up and making me work, kicking me in the arse, getting me out of bed. I come home from work one day and he'd been around and pruned all my fruit trees. All of them. He spent many nights with a campfire and never a dull moment with the old boy. I spoke to one of his martial arts mates and they said moving Garry was trying to lift us like lifting a slab of concrete. No doubt he was tough, but I never saw him upset. Always relaxed. Sorry. Now you're back with Roxanne, two beautiful people. I'll miss you, mate. See ya.
Dad was one of a kind, a father figure to most. He loved his judo, being outdoors, gardening, painting, riding his Harley and spending time with his mates. I'm really proud to be his son. One thing I'll always be grateful for is how many photos and videos he took over the years. He captured so many memories and passed them on to me, especially his martial arts footage. I'll look after it and I'll treasure it. I'd love to keep his memories and stories alive. Garry's wishes were to let go of the past and move on towards the future. I'd like to see it as not as a loss, but more as what we gain by him. He had a level of wisdom we can only try and understand, and I wholeheartedly believe he reached the master level. Beyond the layers of life, the love in our hearts is forever constant. He spoke about a place for the warriors to feast, tell legendary stories and drink beer without getting a hangover. Enjoy, mate, you're worth it.
I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never gonna keep me down. I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never gonna keep me down. I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never gonna keep me down. I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never gonna keep me down.
It's in the night away. It's in the night away.
He drinks a whiskey drink, he drinks a vodka drink, he drinks a lager drink, he drinks a cider drink. He sings the songs that remind him of the good times. He sings the songs that remind him of the better times.
Oh, Danny boy, Danny boy, Danny boy.
I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never gonna keep me down. I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never gonna keep me down. I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never gonna keep me down. I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never gonna keep me down.
It's in the night away. It's in the night away.
He drinks a whiskey drink, he drinks a vodka drink, he drinks a lager drink, he drinks a cider drink. He sings the songs that remind him of the good times. He sings the songs that remind him of the better times.
Don't cry for me, ex-door neighbor.
I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never gonna keep me down. I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never gonna keep me down. I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never gonna keep me down. I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never gonna keep me down. I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never gonna keep me down. I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never gonna keep me down. I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never gonna keep me down. I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never gonna keep me down. I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never gonna keep me down. I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never gonna keep me down. I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never gonna keep me down. I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never gonna keep me down. I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never gonna keep me down. I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never gonna keep me down. I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never gonna keep me down. I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never gonna keep me down. I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never gonna keep me down. I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never gonna keep me down. I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never gonna keep me down. I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never gonna keep me down. I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never gonna keep me down. I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never gonna keep me down. I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never gonna keep me down. I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never gonna keep me down. I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never gonna keep me down. I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never gonna keep me down. I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never gonna keep me down. I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never gonna keep me down. I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never gonna keep me down. I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never g
Please come now, I think I'm falling, holding on to what I think is safe. It seems I found the road to nowhere, and I'm trying to escape. I yelled back when I heard thunder, but I'm down to one last breath. And will it let me say, hold me now. I'm 6 feet from the edge, and I'm thinking maybe 6 feet is so far down. I'm looking down, now that it's over, reflecting on all of my mistakes. I thought I found the road to somewhere,
Somebody say, well, pick me up with golden hand. Oh, me tell you to run. Somebody say, well, I would like to hold my little hand. How we will run, how we will cry. I would like to hold my little hand. How we will run, how we will cry. Send me in my way, send me in my way, send me in my way, send me on my way, send me in my way, send me in my way, send me on my way. Well, pick me up with golden hair. Say, tell you to run. Nobody see me, well, I would like to hold my little hand. How you will run, how you will crawl, I would like to hold my little hand. How you will run, how you will crawl. Send me on my way, send me on my way, send me on my way. Reach out my hand, oh me say, oh me tell you to run. On my way, somebody say, somebody
Garry certainly loved his photography, and that's going to be continued at the Menai with some more photos to share. So these photographs have taken us through so many chapters of Garry's life, and the other chapters rest in the memories of the people who knew and loved him. I would now love to share some of those memories, firstly from his great mate, Don. Garry John Crawford, known as Crawf. I first met Crawf when we were both 6 on the first day of grade 1 at the old Burnie Primary School on Mount Street, Burnie. We were to be lifelong friends from that day. All the kids would remark about Crawf's muscles, and it was his party trick to flex his biceps for the crowd. A strange thing to do considering he was the quiet, shy one. He could do multiple pull-ups on the chin bar in the playground, while the rest of us could only just hang there. He did have rock-hard biceps. Crawford went to Burnie High School and I went to Parklands High School, but Burnie being Burnie, we still bumped into each other. He told me once that although he was a good runner, he always tried to run only second at their sports day. When I asked him about this, he said, "Because if I won, I would be in Division 1 at the inter-high sports, and then I'd have to run against you." I didn't know he was that competitive. When we were nearly 18 years old, we would catch up with the crew at the local pubs, largely the Beach Hotel and then the Menai Hotel. Crawf, Little, Nig, Bill, Dingo, who was Rick, Ovi, and others would make the pilgrimage from the beach to the Menai, commonly under the influence of social party drugs and beer. On the odd occasion, we would go to the surf club rages where Crawford would bring his own beer mug with a handle and he'd tie it to his wrist. I suppose he never lost his drink, but I did wonder about the other issues that would have raised. There were many crazy times in those days, parties at Havenview above the shop, Strawn Street at our place, or perhaps the best party house of them all was Cooper Street. Right over the back fence from the Menai, we would jump the fence for some spots of hash on the stove and then back to the band. The trips into the pine plantations behind Burnie, picking golden tops. These did lead to some psychedelic nights, like demanding on sleeping in an old wardrobe in the hallway, because apparently that was the only safe spot to sleep. Or the night when he passed out on the couch and we tied him up to the furniture with knitting yarn. It looked like a scene out of Gulliver's Travels. In the 80s, many of the old crew left for the warmer climates of Queensland. A couple of times I received a letter from Crawford while he was in the Tambourine Mountains with a big fat bud in it. I remember one of the letters saying that he and Helen had been cut off by floodwaters for weeks at their place and he thought he was going mad. When Crawford returned to Burnie, we were close again. Our lives intertwined through the crew again and meeting Roxy, the love of his life, and having an extended family with the kids. Life seemed so good as the caretaker of the Rhodo Gardens, a dream job and lifestyle. Crawford was a great supporter of live music, and whether it was the MRA rally, a pub band, or the Forth Valley Blues Festival, he was there. Crawford and I met up every year at the Blues Festival, and in the 12th year, he and I were watching a band later in the evening, and he decided that he couldn't be bothered going back to the campsite to get a beer, so he would buy one. I saw him wander off to the beer tent and took no more notice. He came back 5 minutes later with a very bemused expression saying, "Did you know you have to buy a token to be able to buy a beer?" 12 years, and this was the first time he had ever brought a drink. Cracked me up, but we always brought the T-shirts. In later years, I trained with Crawford at Ukendo. I was amazed how this quiet, unassuming guy was able to instil such a wealth of stoic wisdom into the kids. He taught kids how to avoid bullies in the playground and how to deal with situations with polite but assertive language. In the end, it was tread softly but carry a big stick. He would always be looking for ways to involve other MMA disciplines into the repertoire, and he and Paul would practice the moves over and over again to get them perfect. He beat the crap out of me on the mat. I was no match for him. He would submit you in seconds if he wanted, but it was about teaching. He had so much patience and dedication to the things that he did. I remember one night 2 drunken guys were rolling around and fighting on the floor at the Menai. Crawford, with the obligatory beer in hand, reached down and leant on both of the lads and squashed the air out of them. No carry on, just a passive way to point out the futility of their actions. In that sense, he was very grounded, and I guess that comes from having your hands in the soil for a lifetime. In over 55 years of knowing someone, there are so many stories to tell. He was such a kind, thoughtful person. I know he will be missed by his family and missed by the old and dwindling crew. From Don McRae. Garry was born at the Old Burnie Hospital on the 14th of December 1963, but by the time he was just 11 months old, home had become Chasm Creek, a place that remained one of his favourite places throughout his entire life. Chasm Creek wasn't simply where Garry grew up, it was where he felt most at home. From an early age, he had his own little rowboat and spent countless hours exploring the shoreline, fishing and wandering the rock pools. Years later, when Garry reflected on those days, he wrote that although he loved fishing, what he treasured most was the serenity of the earth and being alone. It was there, surrounded by nature, that he found his peace. Much of the man Garry became can be traced back to his father, Ron, a respected member of the local community who believed martial arts were about far more than fighting. Ron regularly took local troubled youth to Stanley, teaching them how to fish, camp and martial arts. Inspired by his father, Garry later established his own club, You Can Do, meaning you can do, where he passed those same values of confidence, discipline and self-belief onto the next generation. At school, Garry loved learning and often described himself as being like a sponge for knowledge, always wanting to know more. He also had a legendary appetite. His family recall him coming home from school and devouring toasted sandwiches before washing them down with a towering milkshake, made in what everyone thought was a large jug, only later to discover that it was one of June's vases. After dinner and dessert, he'd often head out in search of whatever fruit happened to be growing over the neighbour's fence. And one day, Ron followed some suspicious noises, only to discover Garry laying beneath the neighbour's grapevine, happily helping himself. After leaving school, Garry began an apprenticeship as a nurseryman thanks to a chance encounter involving his grandmother, who happened to sit beside a nursery owner on a flight. His adventurous spirit soon took him to the mainland, where he worked in nurseries, before spending time travelling with a circus. He helped direct the big tops, cared for the animals, and particularly enjoyed feeding the elephants. Cleaning the lion cages, however, Garry often joked that lion droppings were the worst smell imaginable. Eventually, life brought him to the Gold Coast, where he met Helen. Together they welcomed two sons, Marcus and Colin. When life took an unexpected turn, Garry returned to Tasmania with his young boys, and after spending some time back at Chasm Creek, accepted the role of caretaker at the Emu Valley Rhododendron Gardens. Managing 35 acres of beautiful gardens while raising two young sons was no small feat, but it became one of the happiest chapters of his life. It was there that he reconnected with Roxanne. Although they had known one another since their school days, this time the timing was right. Roxanne's daughter Hannah joined the family, and in 1997 Ben arrived, completing the family that they built together. No one can tell Garry's story quite like those who knew and loved him the most. It is now my privilege to invite Garry's son Ben to come forward and share some memories of his dad.
That's really good. Hello everyone, it's good to see you all again. There's a lot of people here that I've known for a long time and a lot I haven't seen for a long time. It sucks about the circumstances, but I didn't really know Dad before 1997, so I'll just talk about my experience. I remember when I was small, maybe 2 or 3, and Dad had this fishing bag. Colin's wearing it now. Do you want to show everyone? This fishing bag that he'd keep on his hip. He'd fill it with food and drink and nappies and fishing gear, everything. Anyway, Dad would sit it over his shoulder and then sit me on the top and carry me out along the rocks, I remember feeling safe with Dad. He'd be loaded up with rods, bucket bags and everything else to look after 4+ kids on our usual fishing adventures. Dad would effortlessly glide to the best fishing spot on the northwest coast. I remember being in the Tarago going for adventures with our family, and upon arriving home, Dad would carry us sleeping kids into the house. Sometimes I'd pretend to be asleep, which I'm sure he knew, and would carry me to bed anyway. I remember my first time on one of Dad's motorbikes. It was shortly after Mum had died, grade 7, and the ute had broken down. I needed to get to school, so Dad suited me up and away we went. The Triumph Trophy was a big bike, and I was terrified. But after 2 minutes of burying my face into Dad's back, Dad sung out, "You'll be okay, you're safe," and Dad's calm energy let me enjoy the trip. This began my love of motorbikes and adventures with Dad. Dad had a certain aura that always demanded my respect, and I remember the first time Dad swore. Now, Dad had a lot of friends who swore a lot, spoke like sailors, right? But Dad never swore in front of me until one day someone parked in the express lane at the BWS and spent 15 minutes browsing. I think the language was pretty warranted. But again, this was after Mum had passed and we were moving out of the Roto Gardens. So, as a teenager, I did what most teenagers do. I didn't spend as much time with Dad as I should. I got a job at KFC and Dad paid for me to get my motorbike licence, so he didn't have to pick me up after night shifts. This allowed me to move out, and then sadly I spent less time with Dad, but we were always in touch. Skip to my early to mid-20s, and Dad and I became close again. We went to music festivals, Panama, the Eagle Rock stage. This was where my relationship with Dad morphed from father and son to best friends and the start of our most special adventures. I know, it's a long speech. I know it's a long speech, but I'll only do it once. There's a lot of wonderful things I wish I could include, but Dad didn't want us holding up beer drinking time, so I'll finish soon. Dad wasn't much of a hugger, but I forced hugs on him each time I saw him. I would always lead with a hug, and after a while, Dad started hugging us first. Dad hadn't been overseas before, but Hayley and I took him to Japan. Dad loved Japan so much that on the layover home, he started looking at flights to Vietnam. Dad knew something was amiss in his body. Dad studied naturopathy and could read the signs. Once Dad got the news of it being cancer and serious, it had already spread. Dad quit his job and opted to spend as much time as possible with his family and friends. Dad encouraged Hayley and I to buy our 5 acres in Elliot. Dad knew the place would be a project and place for him to pass on his massive wealth of knowledge and provide for us and his grandkids. Dad would come up 2 to 3 times per week to teach me all about plants, irrigation, animals, tools, growing food. This was my favourite time with Dad. Over time, Dad was able to spend less time, dig less holes, plant fewer trees. We both knew what was happening and still relished the time together. Some days, Dad would just come up to sit and talk while I worked in the garden. We planted hundreds of trees together, an orchard, veggie patches and berry bushes. Dad would refer to it as our place. I wish I could plant just one more fruit tree and get one more hug at our place. Dad. Thank you. Dad said, "Oh, we should patent it so it's got a little seat on it for kids."
Thanks, Ben. That's beautiful, and it's certainly not easy. I now have a tribute to read, shared by Garry's sister, Lisa Ray. Well, where do I start? There was nothing Garry couldn't do, or so I thought, as an adoring sister. We grew up in the best times and in the best place. Bush one side, sea and the beach on the other. Both my brothers loved to hunt, so quite often I would come home to crays, lobsters, fish, and back in the day was snared rabbits. I remember one Christmas Garry scored a slug gun as a present. He was ecstatic about this. Little did we know every blackbird from that day was a target. Then leaves on the trees in the bush behind. This was okay with Dad until Garry got the idea that wouldn't it be fun to shoot every peg off the clothesline. I can still hear our Dad roaring as all that was left was a spring bit on every single peg. It was a time when Garry was on L plates and couldn't wait for driving lessons from Mum and Dad, so out he went, driving up the drive, up and down George Street and down the back paddock for hours. Something that you could never get away with now without the neighbourhood posting a video. Garry's favourite thing he would do was go for hours in a little boat that we had. Not with a motor, he would row it with oars until his hands were blistered. Not my idea of fun, but he loved it. I have so many memories of my brother that have flooded back, one leads to another. You lived your life as only you could, Garry, some happy good times and some very sad. Especially with the passing of beautiful Roxanne, who I still hold dear in my heart, and now you, my strong loving brother. I make room for you in that space to hold all those dear memories. I love you, mate. Love, Lisa. Before we leave the chapel today, there's one more thought that we will share. Garry's children have each carried their own memories and their own relationship with their dad, and like many families, life wasn't always straightforward, but love has a way of finding its place. I think if Garry could see this room today, he would be incredibly proud of his children. Proud of the love that they have shown him and proud of the strength that they have found in one another. Marcus has asked me if I would share the following words today because they reflect what he believes his dad would want everyone to know. Marcus says, "I'd just like to take a moment to recognise a few very special people. Firstly, my brother Colin. There are simply no words that can truly express how grateful we are for everything Colin has done for Dad. He gave so much of his time, love and care, sitting with Dad, keeping him company and making sure he was never alone through some of his hardest days. Those moments meant everything to Dad, and they will always mean everything to our family. Colin, your kindness, patience and unconditional love have showed us all what family is really about. We will never forget what you did for Dad, and we are so incredibly proud and thankful to have you as our brother." Marcus says, "I'd also like to say a very special thank you to Ben and Hayley. Even while adjusting to life with their beautiful newborn baby, they went above and beyond. They never hesitated to be there for Dad. They gave him their time, their love and their care when he needed it the most, asking for nothing in return. Their generosity and selflessness during such a demanding time in their own lives speaks volumes about the wonderful people that they are. Seeing their little baby boy also brought Dad so much joy. In the middle of such a difficult time, he was a beautiful reminder of hope, love and the next generation of our family. Those precious moments meant more to Dad than words can ever say. Ben and Hayley, thank you for the comfort, dignity and love you gave Dad. It brought him peace and it brought all of us comfort knowing he was in such caring hands. We will always be grateful for everything you did. I'd also like to thank my sister Hannah. Hannah, thank you for the love, care and joy that you showed Dad. Your visits, your hugs, your time and simply being there meant so much to him. You brought light into his days, especially when you visited with your beautiful little daughter. Seeing his granddaughter brought a smile to Dad's face and so much happiness to his heart, even during the toughest times. Those are memories our family will treasure forever. Hannah, thank you for giving Dad so much love and for sharing those precious moments with him, and we are so grateful for everything you've done. Finally, to everyone here today, thank you. Thank you for your love, your support, and for standing by Dad and our family throughout this journey. Seeing so many people here today is a testament to the life Dad lived and the lives he touched. Dad will always be loved, always be missed, and never be forgotten. His memory will live on through all of us. Thank you all for being here today to celebrate his life. And thank you too, Marcus. I know your dad would be extremely proud of you too. Grief asks something difficult of us. It asks us to continue living while carrying someone we love in our hearts. But I don't believe those we love ever truly leave us. They continue on in songs that instantly remind us of them. They continue on in the roar of a Harley passing by, or in the laughter shared over a beer, in the friendships they leave behind, and in the lessons they taught, and in the people that they loved. As Garry wrote, the real blessing in life's journey is the great people that you meet along the way. I would love to invite you to follow as we make our way to the Burney Lawn Cemetery, where we will continue with the final part of today's service and lay Garry to rest.
You know the day destroys the night, night divides the day. Try to run, try to hide, break on through to the other side, break on through to the other side, break on through to the other side, yeah. We chased our pleasures here, dug our treasures there, but can you still recall the time we cried? Break on through to the other side, break on through to the other side. I found an island in your arms, country in your eyes. Arms are chainless, eyes are lined. Break on through to the other side. Break on through to the other side. Break on through, oh, oh yeah! Made to see, week to week, day to day. The other side, break on through to the other side, break on through, break on through, break on through, break on through. You know the day destroys the night, night divides the day. Try to run, try to hide, break on through to the other side, break on through to the other side, break on through to the other side, yeah. We chased our pleasures here, dug our treasures there, but can you still recall the time we cried? Break on through to the other side, break on through to the other side. I found an island in your arms, country in your eyes. Arms are chainless, eyes are lined. Break on through to the other side. Break on through to the other side. Break on through, oh, oh yeah! Made to see. You know the day destroys the night, night divides the day. Try to run, try to hide, break on through to the other side, break on through to the other side, break on through to the other side, yeah. We chased our pleasures here, dug our treasures there, but can you still recall the time we cried? Break on through to the other side, break on through to the other side. I found an island in your arms, country in your eyes. Arms are chainless, eyes are lined. Break on through to the other side. Break on through to the other side. Break on through.